Hello everyone, my name is Priyank Pathak. So today the first agenda today is design thinking for novice. I'll request Rohit to take over.
Yep. I'd like to call our second speaker, Deepa Naik, on the stage. Yeah. So Deepa Naik has been a quality manager and a lean catalyst with one of the medical device software development company. She's currently managing the global release of medical device platform, which is complying with all the regulatory and technical requirements. And she has been coaching and training the teams on safe framework and also on medical device standards and regulations. So, Deepa, over to you.
To start off with, I'm Deepa Naik. I perform the role of a quality manager and a lean catalyst in a medical device software development company. Today, I'm here to share my experience in my projects with design thinking. So, the flow goes this way. Yeah, we have one project which is value learning for children. This is a social welfare project which is executed for a university, and this basically follows the 8 process steps of design thinking. The second project is a report template editor tool, which is a specific non-medical device tool which is used along with the product server in a medical device, and this is based on design sprint. Followed by this, we'll have a Q&A session. This is basically for discussing the improvements, or else you can post your questions on the chat and I'll try answering it. Yeah, here is a background. Yeah, it was basically observed that parents in India had a concern that the current education system was really not good enough, and it did not equip well when it came to children learning values. So what we felt was basically that the education system was good enough for us to acquire academic qualifications and then start a career journey, whereas actual values like understanding, respect, compassion, motivation, which are all a life experience, was not a part of the present education system. There was some gap, and there was a lack of effectiveness in terms of value education for the children. It was also observed that there were many problem solving techniques and linear problem solving methods that were used, where we employed Likert scale, 5 analysis, and other things. But that pointed to improving the method of imparting values and the syllabus, but still the problem persists. And that was a basic concern for the parents. So from this kind of a background, we came up with a challenge statement, which was, how can children learn values through an education system that is required for the society? So here our challenge statement basically covered the user, the needs, and the innovation challenge. So we started off with the background and a challenge statement. Yes, now that we had a challenge statement, what we wanted to observe was the experience of the user here. So we drew a user journey map. So the user journey map basically starts with the child, which is more than 3 years, and its experience with respect to the environment, with respect to the impact it has and the people around. So we identified 3 things, that is the parents, the environment, and the education system. In the education system, we cover the regular school, the missionary, the MUTs, and the boarding school. And as we moved towards the journey, we basically converged at a point where we said the children become asset to self, to family, and to the nation. So that is where our user journey map ended. And then we mapped the user journey to identify all the respective characters. Once we did the user journey map, what we did was was an observation plan. So why we need an observation plan? Because design thinking is basically user-centric approach, where we basically deal with the empathy and with the understanding and having an insight of the problem. So here in the observation plan, we had 3 things: who and what I will study, where I'll find the people or information, and what are the questions or issues I will explore. So this covered the school students, the parents, and the education system. And we followed one of the technique which is called as being the fly on the wall. So what do you mean by being the fly on the wall? Is you just sit and observe the people and do not interfere. And we also look for evangelists. Evangelists are the people who already understand the problem. They already would have tried to find some kind of a solution or a workaround. And these are the people who are very useful in your projects, basically because they have already know the pain point, and they help you come up with the solution. So once we had an observation plan, we came up with an interview plan as well, which had the open-ended questions. As well as we had certain rules of empathy, rules of engaging club, which had 8 to 9 points, which basically says that we should not use a question which has usually. We should not be asking questions which do not have more than or less than 10 words. We should not be asking multiple questions at a time, and you should listen more. As well as you should make sure that you are noting down, and if at all you're asking exploratory questions, just to make sure that we record and then we take some pictures. Now, once we had the observation plan and once we had the interview plan, we executed it and we collected a lot of data. Yes, so all the data what we got, we visualized it through space saturation. That is, we summarized all the data and we clustered it basically to say what, why, and how they are doing. We also had certain photos which was clicked, which was taken, and certain observations that was made during the space saturation, as well as certain videos through which we could come up with an empathy map. So empathy map is the heart of design thinking. So we have 4 quadrants here. One is the quotes and definition, what was specified. The second one is the thought and the belief of the interviewee. Then the actions and behavior, the feelings and emotions. Also on the other side, if you see, we have the tactical or the usability need that was explicitly mentioned that this is what they were looking for. And on the right side, we have the emotional and the aspirational needs. So this is one area where we need to focus, because emotional and aspirational needs are the implicit needs which are unset and unmet. So once we had the empathy map, we proceeded towards forming the composite character. So what is a composite character? It's a persona which basically represents the user. So we had one such user whose needs was identified, and the insight was provided based on the input provided by rest of the interviewers. Then we came up with what is known as a problem statement. So the problem statement basically reads like this: Chandra Rao, a software professional and father of 2 children, needs a way to understand, identify, and build in values in his children through parentage, upbringing, so that they become valuable citizens to the society, and then they are the good human beings. So please note, we have a problem statement here, whereas we started with the challenge statement, and it was a journey from the challenge statement to the problem statement, because we had observations and interviews which dealt with the empathy as well as insight. So once we had the problem statement, we moved towards the solution space. Yes, in the solutions place, we started with the ideating, that is the brainstorming. Initially, we started off with classic brainstorming, and then we had the crazy brainstorming. So if you look at the crazy brainstorming, we had ideas such as parents and children learn together in value classes, and admissions to schools should be provided on basis of demonstrating values taught to kids by parents. We should have certain roles like value specialists and value experts. Also, it was a request that the country comes up with social budgeting, so that we also provide budgeting for creating such kind of culture, like we have something for Swachh Bharat. Now, this was a classic and crazy brainstorming, after which we did some kind of voting. And based on the voting, we came up with a solution that was more apt to the technical advancement and the technical dependency what we have in this era, also taking into consideration the globalization. So what we came up was a platform which basically consists of various apps on videos, on value learning, on certain events, webinars, and also certain tie-ups with community centers across the globe. So the videos basically would be like a 2 minutes video where the parents and the children would sit together and learn. And this would be something like a Dharman videos. Then we have tie-up with the community centers where the parents can go in and stay. We have value counselors and experts who are available 24/7. We have chatbots which could be helped. Yeah, we developed a prototype. This was on Wixsite. This was an interactive and value delivery prototype. And then we tested it with the parents and as well with the children. And we got feedback, which was captured in the feedback capture grid. So we had some positive things which had to be appreciated, certain constructive criticisms, as well as some kind of questions that was raised by the testing, user testing. So the feedback was incorporated, and then as a part of learning cycle, it was integrated. Now that we had this kind of a feedback, and it was kind of fine, we started developing this product, and this is under development. Now we have the solution. What we proceeded towards was trying trying to identify the business operation around the solution, where we came up with what is called as the business model canvas or a business case canvas. Yes. So what is a business model canvas? It basically talks about who the key partners are in the solution space. Here, the solution space is a value proposition. What are the key activities? What are the key resources? What is a customer relationship we need to bank on? What are the channels of distribution? And what are the customer segments we are targeting, the parents, children, and the society? Now, what is the cost structure involved in developing this product, and what are the revenue streams? So this basically helps us identify the assumptions and the interrelationship between various elements in this business model. So what was done was a hypothesis testing, basically to see if assumptions were right. So based on the hypothesis testing, we just try to see if the value proposition and the customer relationship was intact. That is, when we say children grow as good human beings in the society, does human chatbot help doing it, or experts or counselors or coaches start doing it? So when we did the hypothesis testing, we were able to identify what was the best combination, and we further refined it. Yeah, so what is the learning here? Is that anybody can innovate. So to start off, we will have a challenge. That is a challenge statement, which comprises of the user, the needs finding, and the innovation challenge. Sometimes it's the journey between the challenge to the problem statement. We usually understand the challenge statement itself as a problem statement, and we start working on it immediately. Whereas when we bring in these elements of observation, interview, and when we involve the users, we basically see the problem statement could be sometimes different. Here, if we see, when we started off, we thought it was an education system that was not imparting value education to children. But as we interviewed the parents, we identified that urbanization and nuclear families, and then culture being not passed on to the next generation, basically had a problem that parents themselves were not able to identify what value was, how to define value, and how to impart value to the children. And that is where we had to come up with a problem statement where the parents and the children both were learning values. The third one is these customer empathy is a key to success. So this is user centric, and then this is quite relevant that we need to have customer empathy to understand and to be in the shoes of the customer. The fourth one is open-ended short questions with 8 rules of Engage Club is effective. So this is an empirical proven topic that the 8 rules of Engage Club helps with getting more and more information because it talks about open-ended questions. Also, it talks about the way the questions have to be framed so that we get more information from the customers. Then we have involved in learning cycles, prototype to meet the needs. So what we have here, if we see in the 8-step process, after we ideate, we develop a prototype when we test it, and the blue arrow, which goes in the reverse direction in the backward, talks about we implement the feedback, and then we engage the users in the learning cycle as well, so that we do not have a failure at the last. Puzzles versus mysteries. So this was one of the questions as to what is the difference between A3 or the linear problem solving methods versus design thinking. So what we found was the linear methods was basically like a puzzle. We had data here and there, we just had to fix it. But when we talk about design thinking, we think the challenge is something, but then when we dive deep into it, we identify that it is a mystery, and we end up solving a mystery. The last one is innovation is equal to invention plus adoption. So what we see nowadays is we have a lot of inventions which are done, but then if it is not adopted by the user, then it does not result into innovation. Yeah, so when do we use design thinking? Yeah, this is one of the questions which is very much prevalent. So if you are able to answer these questions with yes to one of it or all of it, with the answers which are below the design thinking column, then in those cases we have to use design thinking. Is the problem human centric? How clearly do you understand the problem? What is the level of uncertainty? What data is already available to you? So if you need to have a deep understanding of actual users who are to be involved, or if you need to explore and get agreement, or if there are many unknowns and past data is unlikely to help, or if there are very little relevant data to analyze, in those cases we need to use design thinking. Yeah, this is a design sprint. So this is the second topic in the flow, where we have a report editor template tool which was developed based on design sprint. So this begins. This is a time boxed 5-day approach where we start from Monday and we close on Friday. This follows a PDCA cycle where we make a map of the user use case on Monday, and then we identify what the problem is. On Tuesday, we sketch the competing solutions. Wednesday, we decide on the best solution. Thursday, we create a realistic prototype. And on Friday, we test it with the target customers, and then we go ahead on the learning cycles. So I could give you a background is that in medical devices industry, as we have seen, most of the products really require a vital need of generating reports in the hospital, which is required for the insurance companies. It is required for the patients, as well as it is required for the hospitals for reference purposes. Now, usually what happens is this is a non-medical device tool, which is basically placed in the product server, and this is provided by the product vendor that can be customized by the hospitals based on the templates and the logos, and based on various other templates with respect to the widgets. Now, the challenge here was to make it more efficient. That is, whenever we have a upgrade with respect to the server or the product upgrade, how do we make it easily available to the application specialist in the hospital, who can basically look into it and then customize the template so they can generate the reports. Yeah, this is the background. So what we have in the medical device software development is we have a formative evaluation and a summative evaluation during the medical device development phase, where what we do is we have the usability aspects that is evaluated by the application engineers as well as the usability engineers. But with design sprint, what we do is we understand the voice of customer beforehand, and we inbuilt in the design, and we get an acceptable output which is evaluated by the user within the first 5 days. So initially we understand what is the challenge, then we form a team. That is, we have the decider here, who's a sponsor, that is the product development management. Then we have the sprint team, which is the development and the product owner. We have the user, who's the application specialist at the organization level as well in the hospitals. Then we have the usability engineer as well in the user. The facilitator here is a scrum master. So the time and spaces, we block 5 days, and we have no devices rule, and then we started using the concept board. Yeah, this is where we set the stage. Then we made a map. That is, we started on with identifying what is the long-term goal of the project. The long-term goal of the project was to provide the ability to create and migrate custom report templates so that the reports can be generated for each study. And what was the sprint question? The sprint question was basically, how do we make sure that the functionality for the user is available? How do we make sure that we can convert it into a HTML template? How do we make sure that whenever there's an upgrade, that the package is easily available to the service CSC or the application specialist or the hospital users? So for that, we drew a map, which is our use case here, which you see on the right side. So what we have is we have the actors on the left side, and we have the activities and the final outcome on the right side. So the application specialist and the hospital super admin fetch the configuration, they prepare the templates, they commit the templates and update the templates in the product server. And this is fetched by the hospital application specialists later to generate records, template records. And then we have the service CSCs. So whenever there's an application upgrade or the product upgrade or a service upgrade, they need to make sure that they migrate to the latest upgraded application. So now we know that nobody knows everything to the complete. So we had experts, that is, we identified what is the voice of the customer, what is it they were looking for, how the template has to operate, whether it is available in A4, how do we customize it, and also the previous feedbacks. What are the functionalities which needs to be changed in the template was a header, footer, and a lot of other things like tags, the internationalization, the saving, the compiling, validating, and other things. Once we had this, we came up with a how might we statement based on each of the activity, and based on that how might we statements, we organized voting. That is 2 votes for each of the sprint team members and 4 votes for the designer, for the decider, who's a sponsor. Once we voted, we had this highest vote, which was for how might we arrange the functionalities around to prepare the template. What we learned here that we always need to be capturing all the data what we discuss during the session on Monday. On day 2, what we did was we sketched the competing solutions. We searched for the existing ideas. That is what we call as a lightning demo, that is enlightened us with various other products which is on similar lines and has the same kind of reports, or some other product which may have the reports which we could learn from. So what is called as pollination and cross pollination. Then we did a demo tour. What do you mean by demo tour is the individuals or the team members who basically came up with this lightning demo ideas gave a demo tour of the application for 3 minutes. We wrote down the ideas everywhere, and these are the pictures below. Then we did a sketch. That is, the brainstorming here is not a team sport or a team shout out. What we say here is the brainstorming can be done individually. So each one of them sketched their ideas based on what they learned from the lightning demos and as well as the big ideas. People who could not sketch properly, they did a mind read, which is on the right side. That was also very effective. Now we knew that we already had a solution. We got some customers ready for Friday to test it. Yes, and then what we talk about here is great ideas basically come from existing ideas, that is the lightning demos. So here you see we have the ideas which have been written down, and then we had some sketches which was done. We compared it to the Microsoft Word template header, and then we also looked into other widgets which are out of the world and that could be used here. So the day 2, which is on the Tuesday, closed with the competing solutions. Yeah, and day 3 we had to decide on the best. So what we did was whatever was identified, what was sketched, we posted it all on the solution like an art museum. We had a heat map, that is each one was given dots to identify the interesting parts. Apart from it, we voted for the best template, which is called as a straw poll, and then we did a super vote. The super vote is done by the decider or the sponsor. Ideas which were really not runners were as a stakeholder requests, which we had it in the backlog. Then we created a storyboard that is step by step. We see shot by shot and a continuing movie as to how we start off with and how we end with. Yes, now we had the template which was finalized. We had the features which was finalized on the report template. What we did was we created a realistic prototype using Balsamiq tool. So this is how it looks like. On the right side, what we have. What was new here is if you see the tags here, where we have the hemodynamics 1, 2, 3, and the cardiac flow sheet were widgets. Now, earlier it was very difficult with these kind of tags. We needed some experts to input some data. With this ready-made widgets, it was easy for anybody to input the data here. So this was one new invention that was brought in. The second one was basically we had the import and the export. So whenever there is no network, when we are not connected also, we could download this template, we could make the changes, and we could connect when it is online, and we could export it. So that was one of the new inventions. And the UI was very simple and easy and user friendly. So this was a prototype which was created. Yes, here we tested with the application specialist as well as the usability engineer. So we followed Magic 5 pattern, which basically says at least interview 5 of them, and have the Act 5, which is you welcome, have open-ended context question introduced to prototype, see their reaction to the prototype and debrief it. There was a lot of outbursts of emotions, frustration, happiness, and excitement based on the output of the interview. But then it was a learning experience, and we learned together and incorporated the feedback. So here is one of the feedback that was received from the application specialist, which where it is expressed that it was very impressive and it was very happy. Yeah, this is the learning. Always be capturing. That is when we are having a design sprint, which is of such a short duration of 5 days, you have to always make sure that whatever ideas you get, you have to keep noting it down. And great ideas can be built on existing ideas. The lightning demos helps a lot, where we pollinate and cross-pollinate. Brainstorming need not be team shout-out. So this is one of the learnings that when we say brainstorming, we think it is a team shout-out and then it has to be a team sport. It can be confined to an individual activity, and it also leads to a lot of creativity and innovative solutions. Whenever we have it tested, with the end user during the prototype, it is not we design. It is always we design, and it is not I design for testing. So this is a design sprint, and this is the second project which we had on report template editor tool using the design sprint. Thank you.
Thanks, Deepa, for your great insightful session.
Rohit, can I take a question here for Deepa, please?
Yeah,
If that is
sure,
okay.
sure, please.
Hi, Deepa. Thank you for the wonderful case study that you shared. This was really inspiring. But some of us who come from teams who are usually included in the implementation phase, what are the principles that we can draw from design thinking framework in this phase?
Yeah,
When a lot of work has already been done, and all we need to do is to just implement technical solution to a business problem.
Yeah, I think this is basically a transformation which is required, and it is brought in by design thinking. The present way of working remains the same, as you mentioned that the product owner comes up with the solution space, and it is only the implementation part of it. But what design thinking brings in is the whole team involves in the design sprint, which is from, as you say, as you have seen, from Monday to Friday, where we try to get the background as well as we come up with the solution space. So it requires a mindset change and a cultural change when you bring in design thinking. So it really requires a development to be a team, to be a part of the sprint team, and to be there from Monday to Friday in a sprint.
Thank you. Thanks, Deepa.
Right. Thank you.